Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Melissa Guadalupe Huertas, coming to you from the beautiful city of Trujillo in Peru, and I'm part of the education team at the Wikimedia Foundation. And today I would like to share with you the start of our session on this wonderful project that we developed last year in partnership with local affiliates, local Wikimedia affiliates in Bolivia, in Morocco, and in the Philippines, called Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom. But before we start, and because we would like to really get to know where you guys are joining from and who is in this room together with us, I would like to invite you to just join us on a Google Jamboard and or using the remote chat and help us answer this first question. What do you see if you open your door in the room where you are right now and you walk around? So we want to know what's outside of your door. So the way that you can participate in telling us your answers is you can go on Google Jamboard following this bit.ly link, and you will see this. You will see this environment, and you will see that here on Jamboard, you can go to the left and put a sticky note, and you can put your answer. So for example, if I open my door and I walk around for a little bit, for a few minutes, what I can see is I can see a park. Wait, I forgot how to spell park in English. I can see a park. So I'm just going to move my little note, my little post-it note, and put it here. I can also see a lot of cars everywhere because I live near a big avenue, so I kind of already did yellow, so I'm going to put green. And this way I can change the color. You can put the color that you like. And then again, just move it here. Now, if you cannot access Google Jamboard, you can also let us know the answer to your question in the remote chat, and my colleague Sailesh will help bring your answers into this board. But yeah, I'll just give you guys a couple of minutes as you grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or any drink of your choice, and you join us in this room. So I'm just going to put my timer here, and I'm just going to put maybe, let's see, 3 minutes, all right? Now it's your turn. Cool. So I see there's somebody who opens their door, walks around, and sees a cow, which is awesome. Beach and seashore, lucky you. A field, a lake, lots of trees. So glad to know that you're surrounded by nature. Fields, trees, and vegetables, rice fields, a beach. Wow. Mi barrio, eso. Nice. I'm just going to keep moving them here. Oh, if you want to do like a little image of what you're actually seeing and not type it, you can also just grab this pen on the left and draw something if you're feeling artistic. That's totally valid. A pomegranate plant full with fruits. Oh, nice. Very inspired by all of your answers. Big forest with lots of trees, a train station, rice fields. Cool. That's awesome. I'm gonna wait for 1 more minute to see if anybody else has a new answer to, and thank you so much, Sailesh, for bringing the answers from Remo to this Jamboard as well. Oh, a friendly neighbor. That's awesome. I love friendly neighbors. Great. I'm just gonna move this one over here. I'm going to change the color of some, just for variety. Cool. So I think that we've got everybody's answers now. So I'm just going to stop my counter. And thank you so much for joining in on this quick warm-up activity with us. It's really wonderful to see that, even though we're not together in the same physical place, we can still connect via these digital spaces. Trees, yes, I love it that that a lot of people are surrounded by trees. Cool. So coming back to our presentation, so why did I ask you about, what's out there when you open your door and everything? Because a lot of what we're going to talk about in this session today has to do with opening doors. When we think about the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom program, we have noticed that it really has provided us with new opportunities to integrate Wikipedia and the Wikimedia projects into the education sector. So we are excited to today open some of these doors with you and share some of the learnings that we have acquired throughout this experience. And to open, yes, and then here you can see our agenda. We will be opening three main doors. First, we will open a door to the past, and we will share about why and how this project, this pilot came about. When we open the second door, we will have a roundtable with local coordinators from this program, and we will hear about their perceptions and perspectives as they are now, once they are past the program development. And finally, when we open the third door, we will start looking at the future and thinking about what's next in this program. And to open the first door and tell us about the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom pilot, I'm going to pass the mic to my colleague, Nicole Sapp. And Nicole, yes, awesome.
Yes, I am here. Thank you, Melissa. Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole Saad, and I am the Senior Manager for Education at the Wikimedia Foundation. I lead this wonderful team that is bringing you Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom today. So first, I want to talk a little bit more about the origin of this pilot, how it came about, and some of the initial challenges that we faced. So in 2020, we had planned to implement a teacher training program called Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom. Our original concept behind this, or the motivation, was that we often heard from teachers that they would not use Wikipedia in the classroom for one reason or another, but mostly because they felt that it wasn't a reliable source of information. And the other main reason is that teachers are inundated constantly with a changing educational landscape, and that's even more true now in the age of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so they're constantly kind of thrust into new technologies and new resources that they're not always trained how to use in a way that's relevant to their local context. As we know, education systems around the world are incredibly different from one another. Teachers on the ground face different challenges. They have different access to resources, and they have different access to training. So what we wanted to do was to create a program that would meet teachers where they were in their local context. And so in the midst of this planning, we had actually planned to do Reading Wikipedia in the classroom in person in schools, and then pandemic happened. So we changed the whole format of the training program. We moved it to be a virtual training program. And in 2020, we worked with 3 different affiliates, one in Bolivia, one in Morocco, and one in the Philippines, to create diverse linguistic and cultural educational materials in a training program. And so I think you can go to the next slide. To do this, we felt that it was extremely important to work side by side with the Wikimedia community. So in order to do that, we had an application process. We received 13 applications to partner with us on this project, and we selected to work with the Wikimedistas de Bolivia, the Wikimedia Morocco user group, and the PhilWiki community user group in the Philippines. And through working with these affiliates, we hired local coordinators in each country that worked side by side with us throughout each phase of the project, from the needs assessment to developing the training materials, to implementing the training, and then supporting the evaluation of the program. And so you'll be able to hear from some of these local coordinators later in this presentation, but these local coordinators were really integral to the success of this project, and they are the first ever certified Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom trainers. Next slide. And the result of all of this work was a 9-week professional development program, particularly aimed at secondary school teachers. that taught them how to use Wikipedia to think critically about information and to strengthen their media and information literacy skills. So what this means is it's not just, you know, having students check Wikipedia for information. It's actually teaching them how Wikipedia works so that when they use Wikipedia, they can think critically about the information that they find there and that they can transfer those skills to other sources of information online and offline. And so that was the original pilot program. And I'm going to pass the floor now to my colleague Vasanti, who will tell you a little bit about the results of the pilot program.
Sorry, I just realized I was on mute. But yeah, so after the program implementation, we did post-program evaluation, and we measured the outcomes and the impact of the program by doing some data collection with the teachers and also to the local coordinators and affiliates who partnered with us. And here are the list of like the resources that we produced and also the impact that we found. We produced by the end of the program, we produced 3 teacher's guide containing of 3 modules and associated training assets. And then we also did localization in 4 languages from the 3 countries, and as a result, more than 7,000 teachers were reached during the training programs, and 580 participated in the full training program, and 160 teachers earned a certificate. And the immediate outcome from that was that we found a jump in readership during the month of implementation in the Philippines, and then 81% of participants, teachers participants, feel confident in applying their new knowledge and skills about Wikipedia in the next school years. And affiliates partners also describe the experience as being enriching, engaging, revolutionary, and inspirational, while also teaching them to become more resilient. Our affiliate in Bolivia has also launched a second edition of the program. And so, yeah, overall teachers' perception change, which I will talk more about later. And they became more interested in contributing to Wikipedia as well. And the affiliates develop skills to work in the education sector. Affiliates partners express readiness to implement the next chapter of the program in their countries. And for the jump of readership in the Philippines, so average weekly views before the training was around 28 million. And after our first training event, the weekly views actually jumped to 58 million. And next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. So I'm going to talk more about the, sorry, before. Can we come back? Okay, thank you. So I'm going to talk more about the jump in readership in the Philippines. So if you can see on the graphic itself, so over the past several years, readership trends in the Philippines have remained quite steady. But we can see a significant spike in the beginning of the COVID-19 lockdown. I put like some notes in there. And the opening ceremony of the Reading Wikipedia in the classroom took place on September 22nd. And on average, each virtual engagement hosted by the Department of Education in the Philippines received around 5,600 views, with a total of 22,400 total views. And overall, 600 teachers enrolled in the Philippines. and which lasted until the closing ceremony on December 11th. So during that time of the implementation, we can see a significant spike in page views, and additionally, we can see that this is sustained after the program has finished. As the average, you can see the average page views is constantly higher than any time before the training program implementation. Going forward, we'll be exploring how this training program impacts readership when we have a large-scale partnership within the education system, as we look understand what factors contributed the most to the increase of the page views. Can we go to the next, please? Thank you. Next, I'm going to talk about the outcome itself, the impact in the teachers' increased skills and changing perspectives around Wikipedia. Next slide, please. Yeah, so one of the outcomes of the training program achieved was changing teachers' perspective on of Wikipedia in education. So by the end of the program, we found that teacher perspectives toward the use of Wikipedia as a source of information became more positive. So particularly as we piloted the training program during the COVID-19 pandemic, we think that so the need for online teaching resources also increased, and teachers became more open-minded to various online resources that are readily available. So if you can see the chart there, the before and after. So after program implementation, we can say that 100% of teachers agree that Wikipedia is a valuable source of information, and that they agree that teachers should use Wikipedia. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. Another impact that we see is from by building community capacity for Wikimedia education initiative. So we captured that how the program helped build community capacity for Wikimedia education initiatives. So the local coordinators and affiliates reported the increased skills in carrying these activities, such as working with secondary school teachers, delivering trainings and team collaboration, and also developing like evaluation strategies and conducting data collection and data analysis. And furthermore, through the post-program self-reflection form that we did for the evaluation, we learned that the affiliates identify three main impacts in their capacity. So the first impact would be their increased awareness of possible models for Wikipedia and education programs, and the capacity needed for their implementation. And the second thing that we learned, that there is an increase of capacity to establish partnerships and networks within the academic sector. And the third one is the increased desire to promote more involvement opportunities with the education sectors and actors, such as teachers, to join the local Wikimedia community and user group. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. Also based on the post-program evaluation, we also found that teachers were happy with the training program delivery, and it contributed to their effort to implement virtual learning to their students as well. So teachers said that they liked the way all the modules questions were shared publicly on the Facebook group. And that other teachers have to answer them publicly as well on the group. So we used Facebook group as the learning, as the LMS, learning management system. And so that way, by sharing their answers publicly on the Facebook group, the teachers' Facebook group, That way, teachers felt like they also learn a lot from the other teachers' perspectives and answers. And one of the teacher training participants from Morocco said that they were inspired by Wikipedia's core content policies and ended up actually teaching their students so they can verify online information and adopt critical thinking to assess the information they get online. You can read more about the program implementation, outcomes, and impact in the evaluation reports. We have different sections in the evaluation report, and which you can find on the Wikimedia Commons. You can see the category on the screen. I think that's it for me. I'll pass the microphone back to my colleague Nicole.
Thanks, Voss, and great plug for the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom report. It's a really engaging read. I highly recommend anyone who's interested in this program to go through that, because it'll really tell you a lot about how this program was implemented and what the results were. So I just want to say a little bit more about how we implemented this program and what the teacher's guides look like. So you can see here we have 3 modules of the teacher's guides. They were all aligned with UNESCO's Media and Information Literacy Framework. So Module 1 focuses on access to information. Module 2 focuses on evaluating information. And Module 3, which we consider a little bit like a bonus module, goes into creating information. So Module 3 is an interesting one because we get into a little bit about editing Wikipedia, but we didn't ask the teachers to do anything that would break any wiki anywhere. So we asked them to do really simple things like create an account or use the thank button. And one of the things we found, as Voss mentioned, is that just going through these 3 modules and learning how Wikipedia works and learning about some of the challenges like knowledge gaps in local languages really inspired a lot of teachers to become interested in contributing in different ways or being part of the community. So it's an interesting thing to think about if you're looking to, build your Wikimedia community in your local area, that really focusing on meeting people where they are. So for example, with teachers, meeting them in the classroom and helping them understand the pedagogy of Wikipedia in the classroom can actually interest them in becoming editors later. And that wasn't actually the goal of this initiative at all. It was only to help teachers use Wikipedia in the classroom as a tool to teach media and information literacy. Next slide. And so you can see here some of the implementation of the live sessions. So we had a few live sessions with the teachers, and they were interactive, and that's part of the training program. And then we think we have one more slide that shows the Facebook groups. So here you can see how we were using Facebook as a learning management system. And one of the things we learned through the pilot implementation of this program is that we did not want to continue using Facebook as a learning management system. And while originally we had decided on Facebook because it was something the teachers were already familiar with, it wasn't a new technology that they would have to learn in order to participate in this program, we found that it didn't have all of the functionalities on the back end that we would like to be able to track participation and progress throughout the training program. So it was good for the pilot. We are going to move forward using a different learning management system. And so that's just one thing that we learned through the implementation of this pilot. And so with that, I think I'm passing the mic back to Melissa. Oh, I'm introducing the roundtable. Sorry.
That's okay. Thanks, Nicole. Cool. So thank you so much, Nicole and Paz, and thank you everyone that is watching right now for your attention. And we're going to start with the next, with opening the second door that I mentioned at the beginning. And for this second door, we're going to have a roundtable with our certified trainers, program trainers. And originally, we had invited also our partner from the Department of Education in the Philippines. Unfortunately, she could not join today, but I'm going to invite my colleagues, Sukaina Abelhat, Brahim Faraji from Wikimedia and Morocco user group, and Erlan Vega from the Wikimedistas de Bolivia user group as well, to tell us a little bit more about their experience and as developing this training. And if you guys, anybody from the audience is watching right now, some questions come up as Brahim, Sukaina, or Erlan are sharing their experiences, please don't hesitate to write them in the remote chat. We also have an Etherpad open for your questions and comments, and we will have a question and answer section towards the end of the presentation. So I'm going to throw the first question at the panel. And when we implemented this program, the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom, in these 3 countries, we were very, very lucky that we were able to connect with the Department of Education in the Philippines, create a partnership with them, and support support teachers from the Philippines to join us via their digital platforms that the Department of Education was already using. We were able to broadcast the training to thousands of teachers in the Philippines, thanks to the use of their Facebook fan page from the Department of Education in the Philippines. Teachers were very engaged because this was considered as an official part of their the professional development opportunities that teachers in the Philippines had. So we had hundreds of teachers there. The Philippines was a very, very specific model of partnership and development of this pilot. The same didn't happen for Bolivia and Morocco. In Bolivia and in Morocco, we had a lot more challenges establishing an official partnership with the government or with other education institutions because of the pandemic and working remotely as we had to last year. So I'm going to pass the mic to Sukaina, so that Sukaina, you can maybe tell us a little bit more about the strategies that you guys implemented to engage with the teachers, to keep them motivated to participate in the program.
Okay, so thank you, Melissa. Thank you for this introduction. Thank you, everyone who is watching this live session now. And you are more than welcome to ask questions. And yeah, so in Morocco, the experience was a bit special, as in the beginning, we thought that we would handle all the training program on site. And finally, we found ourselves, like, because of the pandemic, working remotely with teachers and trying to manage everything through Facebook groups and everything, which was a bit challenging. But then we kind of figure out how to keep teachers motivated to continue with us the training sessions and to keep their motivation high, etc. So like me as a local coordinator and also Brahim and other local coordinators from other countries, we kind of try to keep this interaction live during the interaction or the comments with the participants or the teachers. For example, sometimes we just we kind of share their advancement using like this this I don't know, it could be like a simple message just telling them that, for example, we have this person and this other person who achieved the first model or the second model. That's somehow a way of us to encourage them or to upload their achievements. Also, for people who kind of miss some models or some questions, we somehow try to tag them using the tag part in the Facebook group. So we just tag them on the questions that they're missing, or sometimes I just try to contact them directly using like Messenger or Gmails for people who are not super active through Facebook. And also, another way that I found personally super helpful in engaging people to keep up like the hard work that they're doing in this program is actually by talking to them, like either by sending voice notes on WhatsApp or Messenger, or also by like accepting a call or calling them on their phone. And that's something that I found super useful, because In the beginning, they were like a bit shy to ask questions and stuff like that. But then once I kind of tried to call them and talk to them like in live indirectly, they were like more encouraged to ask questions, and they were more happy and more engaged with us in the program. So yeah, those are like the highlights of the way that I managed to use to keep the teachers motivated. And also there is this part that we kind of always tell them that you guys are being part of a big program, and this is like a pilot program or like funded and run by Wikimedia Foundation, and that this is like a big deal for Morocco to be one of the country that has been chosen to be part of this program. And that is also something that was like super motivated, and they were like, we want to represent our country in the best way, we want like more activities, more programs like those. And yeah, I think I was super proud with the performance of all the teachers in the program, especially that they showed a very high level of engagement. They were like keeping up until the end, and we had the celebration party to celebrate all the achievements. So yeah, I think it would have I think it would have been like better if we had on-site training sessions, but like we try to keep it that way by keeping the live interaction with them, calls, voice notes, like messages using like messenger sometimes like Gmail too. So yeah, I think those are like the main things that I try to use in order to keep teachers motivated. So yeah, I think that's somehow my point of view, or my result from this experience that I found super fruitful and enriching for me, and I think it would be the same for other local coordinators and trainers. And yeah, so now I think I will pass a question to Ibrahim, since we work together on this program in Morocco. Like, how do you think that this program helped to connect teacher with us or with the user group of Morocco? How do you see that? How do you see like this connection was managed?
Yes, thank you, Sukaina. And what can I say? It was a great opportunity for teacher to discover the behind scene of Wikipedia and the community behind Wikipedia and other project, sister project. So it was opportunity, as I said, to meet the community, and especially the Moroccan user group, who present their support during the training as a guest and as technical support for the newcomers. And we were glad about the feedback of teachers who present their desire to contribute in free knowledge and use the project as a new tool of teaching. And they hope, and we hope also, that this project can reach all Moroccan schools, and why not all the school of the world. So we keep hoping, and we keep working to expand the project. And I will give the mic to my dear Erland. So what main, in the case of Bolivia, how did the pilot prepare your user group for the implementation for the second edition you are currently running?
Thank you, Ibrahim. The experience here in Bolivia was very eye-opening, if we may say. We have developed some projects online and also in person with people. We haven't had the chance to aim our efforts to help teachers read Wikipedia better. So, in a way, the whole process of applying for the project helped us organize ourselves for longer periods of time, and also it provided us with the frame that we are not using for the second implementation of the project. Currently, we have 800 teachers who have shown interest in the project, And we are still negotiating with the Ministry of Education. We hope we can get them on board for this or maybe for the next year. But we believe that that has strengthened our user group. And I believe that we aim to have 200 teachers that are part of our group for this year. We also have teachers that participated in the program last year who are now being coordinators for some groups, and that says a lot about the how the program is interesting. I'd like to say that it's our effort only, but it isn't, because this is the whole WMF support. It's the work of Melissa and Nicole, and you guys also, because it was not just us alone. It being part of a group always helped. It's always nice to be part of a joint effort by many people, and I believe that groups like this are very important, should be noted in reports. We are also supporting regional implementations of the program with native languages. We have Aymara, Guarani, and Quechua. We hope to get teachers also on board to use them. And of course, the approach is a little different because we want them to create content for these Wikipedias who are now lacking. And I hope we can push the indigenous languages on Wikipedia. Olga Paredes, who's also part of Wikimedistas de Bolivia, is right now getting ready to give a talk about it. I'd like to open a question for everyone. Just going down now to the teachers. What were the main learnings the teachers took from the training? What were their comments? What were their new approaches? What will they do in the future? So Karina, maybe you can.
Yeah. I wanted to add an intervention about this results and everything. Since we kind of conduct few interviews as a post-program evaluation, I had the chance to interview a few teachers who managed to finish the whole program, and I was really amazed by their remarks about the program and their vision about the future of the program, etc. So first of all, most of them had changed this their opinion about Wikipedia. In the beginning, they were like, when we asked them about Wikipedia, do you think that it's a reliable resource of information? They were more of, we're not quite sure. I mean, we do use it, but we're not sure that we can use it in school and everything. But now, most of them are using Wikipedia in their school projects. They are actually organizing activities with their students based on Wikipedia. They try to teach the main things about how to edit, how to read Wikipedia, how to evaluate the articles and everything. And that's something that we've seen. Some of the teachers shared with us some few results of their students' work. They were like small papers with all the results on it and everything. It was super amazing to see that. So they were like live results for us. Also, most of them, they were like, all of them basically were asking about the second edition. So most of them were like, when will you organize the second edition? Can we like take the resources that you guys use to teach us and then use them to teach other teachers with us in the same school? And we were like super happy to give them like the okay, yes, of course you can do that. And that's something that we're currently working on. So the user group of Morocco is now trying to organize and manage how we will do that as a team, also to expand this program in Morocco, especially that we've seen like this huge appetite from teachers, and we've also seen the impact of the program on teachers, especially during the COVID situation, because most of them, they said something that we didn't realize at the beginning. They were saying that we didn't only like learn about Wikipedia and all the information literacy skills, but we also learned about digital skills, and that's something that we didn't like. We didn't plan that, but it happened because we conducted the program online, and teachers were lacking this online skills and digital skills to use them in order to teach their students remotely, and they managed to learn that through the program. So it was like a double gain for them. They learned about Wikipedia, they learned information literacy skills and everything. So yeah, I think those are like the main things that I can say about the results or the impact of the program for the Moroccan teachers.
Great. I think we have some questions. We have some questions from the comments. Brahim, if you'd like to help, how much territory did you cover in the program?
Yeah, so the first, before the integration, we had target 2 cities. The first place, it was Casablanca and Oujda. But after, when COVID-19 arrived, so everything changed. So when we made the training online, so that gave opportunity to teachers from all region of Morocco that they could participate in the training. So it was a great thing to make the training online. So that gave opportunity to other teachers to reach us. And yeah, so we get teachers from like 7 regions from Morocco. So it was a great surface that we reached. So that's for the region. I don't know for Bolivia, so you can.
Yeah, we actually covered we tried to cover the whole country. We have people from all departments and from the country. We tried to cover 50 people. We picked 100 teachers from 600 applicants, and we were careful to see that we had 50 people from the country and 50 from cities. And also we looked for gender equality, that 50 our teachers were women and 50 were men. Yes.
Thank you so much, Erlan, Brahim, and Sukaina for sharing those perspectives. And thank you, Erlan, for kicking us off with the questions. Thank you to those who are leaving questions in the remote chat and on the Etherpad. This is making our conversation much, much richer. And I'm going to bring another question that was left in the chat, and it says, is the program limited to only secondary? Are there plans to extend it to the basic schools? Maybe Nicole, you can talk a little bit about that, and then maybe pass it to Erlan, who are, Wikimedians of Bolivia are already expanding and looking into new opportunities.
Sure, thanks, Melissa. So the training program, the materials, and the structure of the program is contextualized for secondary schools. So that's the main target of reading Wikipedia in the classroom as it has been designed. And, for a few reasons. One, secondary school covers lower secondary and upper secondary. So that's kids around 11 to, graduation age in a high school or secondary school. That's a pretty wide coverage in terms of, age ranges. And it's the time in school when students are learning media and information literacy skills more directly, right? And it's also an age where students are more capable of engaging with our Wikimedia projects. So if you think about the reading level of most Wikipedia articles, I don't know if any of you have ever done a reading level analysis in your language. I've done it for English, not only on Wikipedia, but also on Simple English Wikipedia. And I think you might be surprised to know that even Simple English Wikipedia is written at about a 10th grade reading level in English. So that means if you are below a 10th grade reading level, that you would struggle reading a lot of the vocabulary words that are present in those articles. So that's something that you need to think about when you're thinking about, what age group you want to engage with. Because if you're doing a program that targets younger readers, they might not be able to read the content on Wikipedia. And there are Wikipedias for kids, but those are not covered in this teacher training program. So we didn't cover we didn't cover simple English Wikipedia, which wouldn't even be readable by young kids. But there are like lexicon or Wikipedia in other languages. So if you think you could adapt these materials to one of those Wikipedias for kids, that could be something very interesting. But it's just something you need to think about in terms of the audience that you're engaging. So if you're engaging teachers who teach younger kids, you would have to help them understand how to adapt the reading level to those age groups. But if you were to say, look at targeting university students or tertiary education, that could be a much easier adaptation, let's say. So with that said, I'm going to pass the mic to Arlan, who also has some ideas about this.
Thank you, Nicole. We didn't intend to work with primary and secondary students of first and second grade, but by request of primary teachers, they say that by sixth grade, which is more or less 11 years old, they get cell phones. And since they get cell phones, they are exposed to the internet. And teachers believe, and that's what they say, they believe they should be already ready to read critically, which is one of the main points of the program. So we're looking at ways to develop, to change part of the program, of course, taking into consideration what Nicole said, that we should be very careful about the material, that could be understandable by them, but also that the objectives of the digital literacy are fulfilled. And this is going great. We're going to give you more news in the future as it develops. Thank you.
Thank you, Erlan. And I'm just going to bring up one more question. We have a few minutes left in this panel, and maybe Nicole, you can also help answer this. What will the post-program strategy to the pilot countries look like? Will this be handled by teachers then on, or education ministry? And just give like a little preview, because we'll go into that.
Yeah,
more.
this is basically what we're doing today during this presentation, is talking about what's next. So this first edition was a pilot, and we piloted in these 3 countries. And so each of them have thought about continuing on in different ways, but it's really been up to the affiliates and the local coordinators to decide how they want to continue going in each country. So I know in Bolivia, you're already going. And I know in Morocco, you want to, try to establish that ministry partnership. And it's also a challenge because in Morocco, people really like to be in person, and we're still, having challenges with that. But inshallah, it will happen, and we'll be able to do it in person. And then in the Philippines, there's been some changes in the staffing of the people we are working at the Ministry of Education, and they're also kind of doing different stuff. So we're still kind of waiting to see how that will evolve. But the next steps for reading Wikipedia beyond the pilot are to bring this program to more countries and get more people to be certified as trainers. And so that's actually what we're here to talk about today, is the training of trainers. And so with that, I think I'll just pass the mic back to Melissa.
Thank you, Nicole. Yes, and before we go into deeper about learning about the training of trainers, I would like to just thank you once again, Brahim, Sukaina, and Erlan, for joining us in this panel today in Wikimania, virtual Wikimania. And I don't know if you guys want to close off with some final words. Maybe Brahim?
What to say? I hope that that project can can reach all schools in the world, and in order to build a generation of knowledge, that will make the world a better place. And thank you all member of education team who support us and with this amazing project, and hope to continue together with others. And yeah, we are here if you need anything, and keep working for this amazing project. Thank you all.
Thank you, Brahim. Sukaina, I'm going to invite you to unmute and share some final words with us.
Yeah, sure. First of all, yeah, I'm super excited to be here and to talk about this amazing project, as it was like I believe that it's a super successful project, even though it was a pilot one, but I believe that it was a real project, like a successful one, since we've seen the real impact on teachers over the 3 countries. And I also want to say thank you for Nicole, Melissa, for you, and for Vasanti, for Silesh. Like, especially I've seen how challenging it was for you guys to manage the whole project, which, like, especially with the COVID crisis, we had to change the perspective and everything. I believe that you guys worked hardly on that, and I believe that it wouldn't have been like this accessible if it wasn't like for your continuous support to us local coordinators and to this program. So congratulations for all of us, and thank you for you guys for being like such supportive people during this project. And I'm super eager to see the next steps. I'm super eager to see the next steps of this project, and I'm quite sure that it will be successful. I've already seen like the appetite for this project in other countries. Other Wikimedians are starting to ask about it, so I believe that we will have a very good next editions for the countries who already have the first one, and first editions for the countries who are eager to build this new project there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sukaina, for those kind words. I mean, it was truly a team effort, and I think we all, shared struggles, shared celebrations, and we were there for each other all along. Amigo Erlan, your turn.
Hola, Kamiseki. How are you? I am very happy to say that the project gave me as a teacher an idea to better convey what Wikipedia is, because I've always had the idea that Wikipedia belonged in education. This is not the first time we see this model, right? It was 2012 that a very small team of Wikipedia education distributed some T-shirts, red T-shirts with the slogan, with the motto saying that Wikipedia belongs in education. And it's been some time until we have now introducing Wikipedia in education in a way that is possible for teachers to do, in spite of connection problems, in spite even of computers or cell phones. We can just print the article and follow Wikipedia rules, follow Wikipedia principles, and deliver digital literacy. It's amazing. And we hope that we can still stay together and keep working and make this program bigger and bigger. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. And just a virtual and physical round of applause for our wonderful panelists and friends. And thank you so much for everyone who is continuing with this session and coming, sharing with us this space, sharing this space with us. And now we move on to the third and final door, opportunities for impact and becoming a certified trainer. And so Nicole already mentioned, talked a little bit about this, what is next, and we have some questions as well about what is next in this program. So before we go and I share with you exactly our plans, I would like to invite you to do just another quick thought exercise with us and think about the education sector and the teachers and the students in your own country. And I want you to imagine and reflect a little bit about what doors could this program open if it were to be implemented in your country. Maybe there are some educational policies that foster media and information literacy skills or the development of critical thinking skills that teachers in your country are engaged in. I want you to think maybe a little bit about what could be the impact of teachers integrating Wikipedia in their classes. What does a generation of teachers that value and leverage Wikipedia in the classroom look like? And maybe if there are any allied organizations in your country that are working on professional development initiatives for teachers that could help implement or that could be interested in implementing this program in your context. And in order to help us, make this brainstorming more visual and more social, I'm going to invite you back to the Google Jamboard that we were using at the beginning. I'm putting there the bit.ly link, and Sailesh, if you can help me on the remote chat to share the link again as well. But if you go on the Jamboard, I will bring it back, and you go on the second page, you will find this space. And again, we just want you to think about the questions. What could be the impact of a program like this in your country? Are there any opportunities, any educational policies, professional development programs for teachers that are already in place? Please share them with us. Again, if you go on the left menu, you click on the sticky note. You can just share your ideas over here. So for example, like we mentioned, UNESCO has this media and information literacy framework and some initiatives around the world to strengthen these abilities in teachers and in students. And in my country also, for example, we have it's not a media and information literacy, but maybe, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, I will put the questions back on the screen so that you can reference them back. But think about that. Think about any educational policies or professional development programs as well, or even some similar initiatives that you have seen other organizations implement around where this program could fit. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Yes, so that you can just fill the Jamboard with your ideas, with your thoughts. If you think of some possibilities, but also maybe some challenges as well, please share them with us and we can think around them together. I'm just going to mute my mic for these 5 minutes as you work on the Google Jamboard. If you don't have access to the Google Jamboard, remember you can also leave your answers to these questions on the remote chat. And Sailesh will help us bring them to the Jamboard. If you need some time to brainstorm a little bit longer, take these 5 minutes to stand up from your seat, stretch your legs, go, refill your water, refill your coffee, and then come back and share your ideas. So I'm just going to mute myself for a little bit while you guys work on it. And if there are any other questions, please continue to leave them in the chat. Thank you so much for staying with us for this session. We are super, super close to the end and sharing with you more of the next steps. Just a quick time check. We have 2.5 minutes, and then we'll check on the ideas that were shared on the Jamboard. So keep them coming. Okay, so I'll use this last minute to just read out loud some of the comments that we have been getting. I'm just going to stop my timer so it doesn't sound too loud. Okay, so this can improve, let's see the first question, the first comment. This can improve, first of all, literacy skills of the students, and then go ahead and influence their information literacy skills as well. Teachers, in turn, get an opportunity to introduce to the students a wide range of learning materials that Wikipedia provides. Awesome. University education students, pre-service teachers, yes, pre-service teacher training is so important. There is also the opportunity to make teaching and learning easier by this approach. Great. The territories with different languages than the official one could be more interested because it allows them to develop projects in any language, no matter how big or small. For example, the Basque Country case. Nice. I think in an alliance that the government has with Microsoft due to COVID, I am not sure how they will take an initiative like this. Okay, interesting. I work with wikiblind.org. We have members of the blind community around the world who are available to help, but we have not yet connected them with wiki projects there where they are wanted. Eager to partner with anyone here who'd like to connect. Awesome. And Philippines was one of the recipients of this great program. It really impacted the education sector and so as the local wikis. But the next good thing that may happen as we adapt this is the sustainability of the program. Teachers and students will not only be users, but they can actually engage as editors and contributors on our local Wikipedia. Many other innovations may evolve as this goes along. Excellent. This will give teachers digital skills to train students and making knowledge for free, which will develop the students' capacity in the future. Yes, those are such great ideas. And I'm just going to read this last one that showed up here. France, CRI, Paris.org is in France. A university department specialized in exploring educational methods could be an entry point for education in Wikipedia. It could be. Cool. So with these wonderful ideas, let's start thinking. Let me share with you what is next. So for 2021 and beyond, we set up two main goals. Regarding the assets that we created as part of this program, we want to support partners to translate, adapt, and contextualize the teachers' guides to enhance their own programs. If you go into the category that Pasanti had mentioned, where the report can be found, you will see all of the assets that were created for the program. And you can also see some additional translations that are coming from the community already available. And we are supporting any affiliate, any volunteer that wants to, maybe sees a valuable section in the teacher's guides and want to adapt it and bring it in a different format or use it for one of their ongoing education programs. So we're super eager to support anybody who wants to use these assets, reuse them, remix them on their own for their own purposes. They're all on commons and they're all open license. And our second goal is to create a network of certified trainers that are able to localize the program and train teachers in their own countries. And this is where the next stage of the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom program is, which is the training of trainers programs that will take place during this year of 2021. Our goal in the training of trainers program is to certify 25 trainers who are able to adapt and implement the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom program in their own local context to help teachers integrate Wikipedia as a pedagogical tool in a meaningful way, in a way that responds to their context, in a way that responds to their local Wikipedia community, their linguistic Wikipedia community, and so that teachers can really meaningfully engage with the curriculum. This training of trainers is going to be an 8-week program, and it's going to happen fully online. The weekly commitment of hours on average is going to be between 5 and 6 hours per week. Right now, probably some of you already know, we opened the applications on August 2nd, and they are open until the end of this month, until the end of August 31st. You don't have to be an educational professional. You don't have to be a teacher to apply. You don't have to be a seasoned Wikimedian. We are inviting everyone that has interest in the program, that really feels that can really see the impact of implementing a program like this into their countries to apply to the training of trainers. And once people successfully complete the training of trainers, you will be certified, and you will be included in this network of professionals who are ready to be hired by allied institutions, who are ready to implement the program on their own, and just make this a reality for the teachers in their own countries. The Training of Trainers program is going to be comprised of 3 main modules. In the first module, you will approach Reading Wikipedia in the classroom as a learner. So you will put yourself in the position of a teacher that is going through the curriculum, and you will be able to start identifying what are some of the localization needs, where the curriculum can be adapted. We will support you with research to make this a meaningful localization. And once you are done completing the program as a learner, you will put yourself in the position of the facilitator, of the person that teaches the program. So we will work on facilitation techniques, how to use the learning platform that Nicole mentioned at the beginning of the talk, and how to build the training structure for the program in order to bring it down to your context. And finally, the last 2 weeks of the training of trainers will be focused on the planning section of this program. So Nicole mentioned at the beginning as well that with the local coordinators, we worked together on the needs assessment. So we interviewed, we surveyed teachers, we conducted a research as well with some graduate fellows that we had in the team. So all of the previous preparation work, we will teach you how to do it as well. We will talk about outreach and partnership strategies, and some basic budget planning for a program. And then finally, some monitoring and evaluation strategies, so that once your program is implemented, you can also conduct the evaluation portion and come up with your own progress report, and then make changes and adjustments for the next iterations. So it's something that is, sustainable and a learning opportunity for everybody involved. The methodology that we will use for the training of trainers, because like I mentioned, it will be a fully online training. We will have a combination of synchronous and asynchronous activities. We will have an open edX platform as our learning environment. And we will have a combination of practical assignments, localizable assets that will add to a final product. Every week, whatever you are working on in the training of trainers will result on your project plan implementation for Reading Wikipedia in the classroom in your country. And finally, we will have active feedback loops, and we will have weekly office hours as well to support this cohort of 25 trainers to really get the most of this experience and get all of the support that is needed. What is the application process? If so far you are feeling super excited about reading Wikipedia in the classroom, you cannot wait to bring this program into your city, into your country, and share with your teachers the wonderful thing that is Wikipedia. First, you should go to Meta, our page on Meta, and we will share the links as well in the Etherpad in the chat later on. Review all of the details that we have on Meta. Make sure that you are ready to commit to the full program, the 8 weeks. And we have also a friendly space policy, a code of conduct that we encourage you to please review and see if you agree with it before you apply. Then to make a strong application, prepare thinking about your motivation to apply for the training of trainers, your previous experiences as a trainer, and how what is your vision to make this program sustainable in your context? So it's not just a one-off program. You know, what can you bring so that the program can stay and advance throughout the years? Once you have this kind of reflection done, figured out, you can go to the application form, which is also available on our page on Meta, and it will be open, like I mentioned, until the end of August, until August 31st. After that, all of the applications will be reviewed by a panel, and 25 applicants will be invited to join the first cohort of this training of trainers. This is just the first cohort. After the cohort is over in December, we will go through an evaluation and review period, and we will invite another cohort of people to join the second training of trainers program. So this is not just like a one-time thing. We're really hoping to make this a consistent opportunity for anybody that wants to become a certified trainer and wants to bring reading Wikipedia in the classroom to their local classrooms. So again, who should be applying? You can apply if you are interested in Wikimedia education work and you want to build capacity around education programs for your local Wikimedia community. We want you to apply if you're super interested in implementing a localized version of this program in your country, if you are able to commit to the 6 hours per week for the duration of the program, which is 8 weeks. If you have some connections or if you have mapped some organizations, institutions that work in the local education sector, we really encourage you to apply. And most of all, if you're ready to open new doors and make an impact on your local education sector with the power of Wikipedia. So I'm going to give you just a quick overview of the application to the training of trainers. What are some of the questions that are included in the application? And again, you can go back to the Google Jamboard, and if you go to the 3rd page, if you go to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th page of that Google Jamboard, you can see that there are these little cards. So if something, you know, as I continue talking, you start thinking of ideas, use this space as a note-taking space, or you can take down notes yourself. But just really, you know, like, don't just listen, just start getting inspired and writing down your thoughts. So this is what the application looks like. We will also share the link to the application in the chat, but everything is on our Meta page. And like I said, there are 3 main things that we want you to focus on: your motivation, your experience, and your vision for sustainability. In regards of your motivation, there are 2 main questions that will let us know about what is motivating you to apply. So the first one is very straightforward, and what motivates you to apply. And we want you to think, to share with us a little bit about about the potential impact of the training in your local education sector inspires you to pursue becoming a certified trainer of the program. What are some of the, you know, like some of the conditions, like we did in our previous brainstorming? What are some of the opportunities that you see in your local education sector to make this program a reality? But also think about your Wikimedia affiliate work. If you are already part of a Wikimedia affiliate, that is doing work in the education sector or that is having education programs, could this certification support the strategy of your affiliate, of your user group, of your chapter? Maybe do you have some really motivated volunteers that are eager for an opportunity to develop their leadership skills or their project planning skills, who could be a great candidate for this training of trainers programs? What are some of those capacity building opportunities that this could bring to your organization, to your Wikimedia affiliate? So mostly thinking about these two elements. Why is it important for the local education sector, for the teachers, for the students in your country? And what could this mean also for your Wikimedia affiliate or the organization that you are representing if you're not part of a Wikimedia affiliate? Because like I said, everybody is welcome to apply. And then this is one of our favorite questions, and you will see a lot of also panels or discussions around this question. Why does Wikipedia belong in education? We all know that Wikipedia is important, right? That Wikipedia has a place in education. What is your perspective about this, about the value that Wikipedia brings to the education sector and the actors involved? We don't need you to write super long essays, but make sure that your vision, that your inspiration is really coming through in your answers. For the second aspect around experience, we want to know if you have had any previous experience facilitating trainings for teachers, but also for a general audience. And if you have any links to articles or videos of you doing these activities, please share them in the application as well. And finally, this is optional, but we would really, really love to see maybe if you have a resume online that talks about your professional life, or if you have a Wikipedia, if your Wikipedia user page has information about some of your professional activities, also share that link with us. We just want to learn more about your professional experience. And finally, when you are thinking about sustainability, the questions that are connected to this aspect are, if you're really, really applying because you want to train other teachers in your locality. If you're not sure yet, be honest. You can also tell us, like, oh yeah, this program is super inspiring. I can see the impact, I can see the potential, but I am not sure if I will be able to implement it. You can also tell us if you're not sure yet. If you have an estimated timeline as well for the implementation of this program, you can also tell us. And, oh, I missed one. Oh yeah, and very important, any local partners. Do you have any local partners identified? Ministry of Education, allied organizations, teacher training institutes, etc. It doesn't matter if you don't have the connections to them yet, because we can work on that through the Training of Trainers program. But just it's important for us that you know who is a potential ally in your education sector. If you will require assistance from the Wikimedia Foundation team to build these relationships, also let us know. And yes, something that we will facilitate at the end of the Training of Trainers, everybody that becomes a certified trainer will have access to a small pool of funding to cover some of the costs of the program implementation. So for example, if you are part of an affiliate and you already have staff doing education projects, and the staff capacity is there, they were looking for a new program to implement, but you don't really have money to pay for the translations of the teacher's guides, for example, or you don't have money to, it's possible to do in-person training and you would like to, I don't know, make sure that this is a great experience and you are missing some elements. That can also be, you could be eligible to access some funding for these specific parts of the project implementation. But we also really want you to think about other sources of funding that could make this program sustainable and not dependent solely on the funding of one organization. And with that, you reach the end of the application form, and this is the first step for you to grab the key that can help you continue to open doors through this Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom program. I hope that was helpful and informational. And the timeline, like I said, right now the applications are open. Everybody is invited to apply. But around September 20th, we will have the announcement of the cohort. So we will invite the 25 selected participants. And the training of trainers itself will begin towards the end of September, and it will take place until around the end of November. And on December 6th, we will have a graduation. That's a referential date. And after that, everybody that successfully completes the training of trainers will be certified, and they can start implementing the project back to their communities and have it be, Wikimedia Foundation certified trainer, certified program implementation. So all of the certificates that you give to teachers can be backed by the Wikimedia Foundation, and in particular the education team. And with that, I think we made a good advance in answering pending questions. So I'm going to invite Nicole back to the stage to see if you want to add some more information or any details that I might have left out.
Thanks, Melissa. Are there any pending questions? We don't have any questions. Okay, great. If anyone does have, a question, I think we have time to cover one or two. So please share them in the chat if you do have a question. And I think, Melissa, you have covered it, but we just want to say that we're really excited to begin this new journey of certifying trainers who will be able to actually even be hired to do this by, for example, school districts or organizations, and to create that opportunity for inspired Wikimedians and other individuals who want to become Wikimedians through learning how to do this training program. So we're really excited to begin this training of trainers, and we hope that you will apply. We've already received a good number of applications, so I would encourage you to really take time and care on your application, because we only can admit 25 in this first cohort, and there are quite a lot of applicants. So do your due diligence, take your time, and really spend time on answering those questions and giving us as much information as possible. The question I want to pass back to you, Melissa. Are you able to edit your answers once you've submitted, or once you submit, is that it? You don't have a chance to change anything?
Oh yes, be very careful with the application submission. Once you see this message when you're completing the application, once you see this message and you type your full name and you continue for the next, that means your application is already submitted. It's not possible to edit an application that you have already sent, but if you after you have heard this information, you think that you want to improve the application that you already sent, please reach out to me, reach out to the team, and we can arrange you sending a new answer, a new submission. This is our main email address, so you can just send a message and let me know. Oh, I really want to improve the application that I already sent. This is my name. Can you send me my answers to work on them, and you can resubmit your application in that sense.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that information, Melissa. I think people will want to know if they can edit their applications if they've already submitted them. So yes, please do let us know if you've already submitted and you want to, do a little bit more work on your application. We can arrange that. I don't know if I have anything else to add, and we don't have any. Do we have a question?
Yes, there's one more question that Sailesh brought up. So why this is one of the frequently asked questions. Why the limitation of only 25 participants? Can I still use the resources if I don't get selected for the training of trainers?
That's a great question. So why only 25? Well, the reason we only are admitting 25 per cohort is because student-teacher ratio is very important in terms of quality education programs and quality training programs. And we are currently only resourced to give a quality training program to 25 at a time. So, that might in the future change, but for right now, that's what we are able to do. And we really want to make sure that each cohort gets our full attention and gets all of the quality training that we can provide. So that's why 25. And the resources, so the teacher's guides and the other resources are available. They're under a Creative Commons license. So you can use them, but you can only be considered a certified trainer. So you will not be able to receive the certificate to become a Reading Wikipedia certified trainer unless you have gone through the Training of Trainers program. And that's really important because when you work in the education sector, it's a very vulnerable sector where you're working with teachers and students. They need to know that the folks who are training them are qualified to do so. So that's why it's important to go through the Training of Trainers program and get that certification. And there will be opportunities. If you don't get into this first cohort, there will be other cohorts, and hopefully we'll be able to scale up so that we can do more than 25 in the future. So we're really excited that you're interested and that there are so many people that 25 seems like a small number. So that's exciting. And just stay tuned. There will be other opportunities. You won't be left out.
Thanks, Nicole. And one more question is if the training of trainers is limited to a specific region. And the answer is no, not at all. Anybody can apply regardless of your location. The training will be conducted in English. That is the only main detail. Cool. So I think we have 4 minutes left in this session, and I would just like to once again thank everyone for their attention, for their interest. Thank you also to everyone that has already applied to be part of the Training of Trainers. And we're excited to support you during the last few weeks of the application process. And we will have another session, another information session and support session for those who are interested in applying. That will happen on Friday, the last Friday of August. I will put it on my screen. This is the meta page that I had been mentioning, and on this meta page you can find all of the details that we just shared. Here you can find the application form. And like I mentioned, yes, Friday, August 27 at 13 UTC, we will have one final information and support session for those who are interested in applying. And sorry, Sailesh is sharing a couple more questions that I'll just briefly address before we say goodbye. Cool. So do you have to reapply if you are not selected for this cohort? We haven't really determined the details yet of that. Nicole?
I'm just going to say yes, you would have to reapply because the commitment, it's important that you're able to commit to the training program, and there will be, different dates, different times. So you could probably just copy paste over your answers, but you would definitely have to, refill out the application.
Cool. Thank you, Nicole. And the last question, for those newbies in Wikipedia and in our country, we need more trainers of Wikipedia. Can I apply and learn in the process in order to help my region, the people in my region who wish to know about Wikipedia? Yes, definitely, yes. Definitely apply. Cool. I think we're almost at time. And thank you so much, everyone, for the great questions. I hope the information was really helpful for you. And like I said, join us on Friday, August 27th. If you need further support, send us an email. Stay in touch with us via Twitter, via Facebook. Also, stay tuned with the amazing work being done by Wikimedians of Bolivia, Wikimedians of Morocco, and the FieldWiki community. And yes, I hope you continue to have a great last day of Wikimania. Thank you, Nicole, Fasanti, Sailesh. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Sailesh,
everyone.
for being in charge of
Thank
the
you,
chat.
Sailesh. And thank you to all our local coordinators. You guys were amazing.
Yes, big props to the local coordinators. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care.